At my age, I've learned much, but one decision I deeply regret: letting my home become overwhelmed with clutter. Perhaps you're facing this too, wondering if your own stuff has grown beyond control. Before it's too late, I want to share 6 hard truths I wish someone had told me. It starts so innocently, doesn't it? A cherished family photo here, a souvenir from a memorable trip there. We tell ourselves, I might need it someday for that old appliance, or it's a gift, I can't possibly part with it. Each item a small story, a potential future use, a memory. Over the years, these seemingly harmless additions accumulate, filling corners, shelves, and then entire rooms. We barely notice the slow, gentle creep, the way our spaces gradually yield to the growing collection of our lives. It's a comfort, a history, a promise, until it isn't. Then, one day, a subtle shift occurs. Perhaps it's a moment of searching endlessly for the car keys, or tripping over a stack of magazines that had become a permanent fixture. Suddenly, the line between beloved treasures and overwhelming clutter begins to blur. The comfort we once found in our possessions gives way to a quiet frustration, a nagging sense of unease. Our once spacious rooms feel tighter, paths narrower, and the feeling of being surrounded, rather than supported, by our belongings grows. We realize this isn't just stuff anymore. It's a problem, slowly, silently taking over our lives. Hard truth 1, the illusion of sentimentality. We often tell ourselves that every single item we've collected holds a precious memory, a piece of our past we can't bear to part with. We look at a dusty ceramic bird, a stack of old letters, or a faded drawing from a grandchild, and our hearts tell us to keep it. But I've learned that memories truly live in our hearts, not just in the objects themselves. We save things, tucking them away in boxes in the attic, or crowding them onto shelves, often to the point where they are never seen, never appreciated, and certainly never enjoyed. The paradox is that by trying to preserve every single memento, we often bury the very memories we cherish under an avalanche of forgotten things. What purpose does it serve if these treasures are never revisited, lost in a sea of other forgotten possessions? This sentimental attachment, while natural, can create an almost unbearable emotional paralysis when faced with the task of decluttering. The thought of letting go of something, anything, can feel like erasing a part of your history, or worse, forgetting a loved one. We hover over an old photograph or a child's worn-out toy, unable to decide, fearing that by discarding the object, we discard the feeling attached to it. This overwhelming sensation, this fear of erasing a memory, is one of the most significant hurdles we face. It stops us dead in our tracks, leaving piles untouched, boxes sealed, and the problem to grow, silently, until it becomes too much to bear alone. But sentimentality isn't the only culprit. Beyond the keepsakes, there's the just-in-case mentality. We hold on to tools we haven't used in years, craft supplies for projects we'll never start, or old appliances that might, just might, come in handy someday. I might need it, we tell ourselves, or it would be a waste to get rid of it. These practical justifications, while seemingly logical, contribute just as much to the creeping tide of clutter. The truth is, most of these, just in case, items rarely see the light of day. They simply take up valuable space, fill our utility closets, pack our garages, and slowly, imperceptibly, eat away at the functional areas of our homes, transforming practical spaces into storage units for the forgotten. The second hard truth about letting clutter accumulate in your home is perhaps the most immediate and terrifying: the hidden dangers to your physical safety. We often overlook the small things: a stack of old magazines by the armchair, a tangled power cord snaking across the floor, a rug corner that just won't lie flat. But these seemingly innocent items are not just untidy. They are silent trip hazards, waiting to send you sprawling. For us, as we grow older, with sometimes less steady footing or a slight blur in our vision, a simple misstep can lead to a catastrophic fall. A moment of distraction, a reach for something just out of grasp, and suddenly the familiar floor becomes a hard, unforgiving surface. It's not just about bumping a knee. It's about broken bones, head injuries, and the profound loss of confidence that follows. Beyond the everyday trip hazards, a cluttered home can become a death trap in an emergency. Imagine a fire or a sudden medical crisis. Every doorway, every window, every path to an exit becomes critical. But when boxes are stacked against doors, furniture blocks windows, and narrow pathways are choked with possessions, precious seconds are stolen. First responders, trained to navigate and assist, find their efforts hampered, unable to reach you quickly or safely. Your home, meant to be your sanctuary, can unwittingly become a fortress that traps you, blocking the very help you desperately need when every moment counts. Even without an emergency, just moving through a cluttered home becomes a daily challenge, turning your sanctuary into a bewildering maze. Preparing a meal in a kitchen where every counter is piled high, or finding clothes in a bedroom where laundry has taken over the floor, transforms simple tasks into frustrating quests. We find ourselves constantly shifting things, squeezing past obstacles, or reaching awkwardly for necessities. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's a physical toll. The constant effort drains our energy, leading to fatigue and a reluctance to move, ironically contributing to further physical decline. Our homes, once places of ease, become obstacle courses that wear us down, day by day. The dangers aren't always visible. Clutter creates an environment ripe for compromised hygiene and poor air quality. Those piles of papers, stacks of fabric, or forgotten corners become perfect traps for dust, allergens, and even pests. We might not see them, but dust mites thrive, mold can grow in obscured spaces, and insects find endless hiding spots. This impacts our respiratory health, exacerbates allergies, and makes it nearly impossible to maintain a truly clean environment. The air we breathe becomes heavy with particulates, and the constant battle against unseen grime adds another layer of stress to daily life. It's a silent assault on our well-being. I've seen it, and perhaps you have too. A friend, always so vibrant, had a home filled with a lifetime of treasures. One day, reaching for something on a cluttered shelf, she lost her balance. It was a fall from a seemingly minor height, but the consequences were anything but minor. A broken hip, a long recovery, and a lingering fear that changed her life forever. That single misstep, triggered by an item that could have been cleared away, robbed her of her independence for months. The regret was palpable, not just for the pain, but for the preventable nature of it all. This isn't just a story, it's a stark reminder that the cost of a misstep, fueled by clutter, is often far greater than the value of the stuff itself. Beyond the hidden dangers, there's a daily nagging truth about clutter. It transforms the simplest tasks into Herculean efforts. Before I knew it, my home, once a place of ease, became a series of small battles. Trying to cook a meal? It meant clearing a space on the counter first, often moving piles of mail, old newspapers, or forgotten trinkets. Finding a specific pot in an overflowing cupboard felt like an archaeological dig. Cleaning became an endless dance around stacks of boxes, laundry, or forgotten projects, leaving me more tired than the actual cleaning itself. This constant navigation, this perpetual clearing of space just to exist, drains both mental and physical energy. It's not just about the mess, it's about the persistent frustration of living in a space that actively resists your efforts to live simply. And then there's the endless search for the lost item. We all know the feeling. Where are my glasses? My keys? That important bill I just got yesterday? In a cluttered home, these moments of forgetfulness become a daily anxiety. You spend precious minutes, sometimes longer, sifting through piles of papers, rummaging through drawers, or retracing your steps, all while a quiet panic begins to set in. This constant searching isn't just an inconvenience, it's a drain on your mental reserves, a subtle erosion of your peace of mind. It's the feeling that you've lost control, not just over your possessions, but over your own schedule and sanity. Perhaps one of the most insidious burdens of clutter is the way it steals your living space. I remember when my dining room table was a place for family meals, for puzzles, for quiet conversations over coffee. Slowly, imperceptibly, it became the dumping ground for everything that didn't have a home: papers, books, craft supplies, forgotten gifts. Soon, it was unusable. The same happened to my spare bedroom, which was meant for guests but became filled to the ceiling with boxes and stored items. We have these homes, often spacious, yet clutter forces us into smaller, more cramped areas. It's an odd irony. We have so much, but we can use so little of it. Our own homes become smaller, less functional, and far less comfortable. All these daily struggles contribute to something I call the invisible energy drain. Living in a cluttered environment is like having a constant hum of background noise in your mind. Even when you're not actively dealing with it, the visual chaos demands a subconscious effort to navigate, to organize, or simply to ignore. This constant mental load saps your energy. You might feel perpetually tired, not from physical exertion, but from the sheer effort of existing in a disorganized space. This energy, once available for hobbies, exercise, or spending time with loved ones, is instead consumed by the silent, relentless presence of your possessions. Ultimately, clutter changes the very nature of your relationship with your home. What should be a sanctuary, a place of comfort and refuge, becomes a source of stress and anxiety. Instead of your home serving you, supporting your needs, and simplifying your life, you find yourself serving your stuff. You are constantly managing it, moving it, cleaning around it, or simply feeling overwhelmed by it. Ask yourself, is your home truly serving you, or are you serving it? Because when clutter takes over, the answer often becomes unsettlingly clear. Now, let's talk about hard truth 4. The weight clutter places on our mental well-being. We often don't realize it, but the constant visual noise of too many things creates a silent anxiety, a perpetual hum of overwhelm in the background of our minds. It's not just the mess we actively see. It's the subconscious feeling of endless tasks, of things that need sorting, cleaning, or moving. This constant mental load drains us, contributing to a heightened level of anxiety and stress that we might not even attribute to our surroundings. Our homes, meant to be our sanctuaries, slowly become sources of internal distress, making us feel perpetually on edge. This mental burden quickly translates into a profound feeling of being trapped by our own possessions. When paths are narrow, when every surface is covered, we become physically and metaphorically stuck. Our homes, once symbols of freedom and comfort, can transform into a kind of cage built from the very things we collected over a lifetime. We lose the freedom to move easily, to simply fend in our own space without navigating obstacles. This sense of confinement, of being unable to escape the sheer volume of our belongings, takes a heavy toll on our spirit, diminishing our sense of peace and independence. Beyond anxiety, this chaotic environment can subtly impact our cognitive functions. For seniors, maintaining focus and clarity is precious, yet a cluttered space works against it. When our eyes are constantly darting from one object to another, our minds struggle to concentrate. Decision-making, even for simple tasks, becomes harder when we're faced with an overwhelming array of choices or buried necessities. The endless visual stimuli can overwhelm an aging mind, leading to a kind of mental fog, making it difficult to read, work on a hobby, or even follow a train of thought without distraction. Perhaps the most regrettable loss is the vanishing of peace and calm from our homes. We all deserve a space where we can truly relax, reflect, and find solace. But in a cluttered home, that serene corner often disappears. The difficulty of unwinding amidst chaos, of finding a quiet spot for contemplation, can be profound. A calm, organized environment is not just a luxury. It's essential for our mental health in later life, offering a restorative haven from the demands of the world. To lose that tranquility, replaced by constant visual and mental stress, is a deeply felt regret. Hard Truth 5. The Barrier to Connection. One of the most painful truths about letting clutter consume your home is the way it slowly, subtly starts to isolate you. We remember the days when our door was always open, when friends and neighbors felt welcome to drop by. But as the piles grew, so did a quiet dread. That feeling of embarrassment, the shame of not wanting anyone to see the state of your home, becomes a heavy weight. We start to hesitate at the sound of the doorbell, to let calls go to voicemail, rather than risk an impromptu visit. We make excuses, decline invitations to host, and slowly, without even realizing it, we build walls of stuff around ourselves, blocking out the very connections we cherish. This reluctance extends most painfully to our own families. We want our children and grandchildren to visit, to fill our homes with laughter and life, but the cluttered reality makes it difficult. There's no comfortable place for them to sit, no clear space for a board game, no spare bed that isn't piled high with forgotten treasures. What begins as a minor inconvenience soon turns into a silent barrier. Our loved ones might still visit, but the joy is often muted by the unspoken awkwardness, the feeling that they are navigating an obstacle course. We feel like a burden, and they, in turn, find reasons for visits to become shorter, less frequent, until the once vibrant family gatherings become strained memories. The deeper the clutter, the more intense the shame of the secret becomes. We start living a double life, meticulously tidying the small, visible areas just in case, while the rest of the home remains a hidden landscape of disarray. This constant effort to conceal, this fear of judgment if someone were to truly see the extent of it all, takes an immense toll on our self-esteem. It chips away at our confidence, leaving us feeling vulnerable and exposed, even when no one is around. This internal struggle, this private battle with our possessions, further isolates us, making it harder to reach out for help or to simply enjoy genuine, uninhibited connection. Ultimately, this barrier to connection means missing out on life's most precious joys. The spontaneous coffee with a friend, the holiday meal with family, the chance to share stories and create new memories. These moments slip away when our home can no longer accommodate them. The profound loneliness that sets in, an ache that no amount of stuff can fill, becomes the ultimate cost. We look at old photographs of vibrant gatherings, longing for similar moments, and a chilling question begins to echo. Is your stuff worth missing out on life itself? Because when our home becomes a fortress of possessions, it often locks us in, and the world out. Hard Truth 6. The unseen costs and difficulty of reversal. Many of us don't consider the financial ripple effect of a cluttered home, thinking it's just our stuff. But the truth is, clutter often comes with hidden monetary costs. Perhaps it's the monthly fee for a storage unit, holding items we rarely, if ever, access. Or the constant cycle of buying duplicates because we can't find what we already own. Then there's the sheer frustration of trying to locate important documents for taxes, medical bills, or financial planning amidst piles of papers. This disarray doesn't just waste time. It can lead to missed deadlines, late fees, or even errors that prove costly in the long run. It's a silent, constant drain, slowly eroding your resources and peace of mind. And what happens when our health inevitably declines? The task of decluttering, which felt daunting years ago, becomes utterly overwhelming. Our energy wanes, our mobility decreases, and sometimes our cognitive sharpness isn't what it once was. What was once a manageable project transforms into a monumental chore, physically exhausting and mentally draining. The regret of not having tackled it sooner settles in like a heavy cloak. You look at a room filled from floor to ceiling and feel a profound sense of paralysis. The sheer scale of the problem feels insurmountable, trapping us within walls built of our own possessions, powerless to begin, or even know where to start. This inaction, however, rarely affects only us. The most heartbreaking cost of severe clutter is the unintended burden it places on our loved ones. When we can no longer manage our homes, or after we are gone, the monumental task of clearing a lifetime of possessions falls to our adult children or caregivers. They face not only the physical labor but an immense emotional weight, sifting through decades of memories, often without guidance. It's a task that can take months, costing them time, money, and emotional energy during a period when they should be grieving or supporting. This inherited responsibility can lead to resentment, stress, and even conflict among family, a difficult legacy to leave behind. Looking back, the deepest regret isn't that I owned many things, but that I let those things own me. I wish I had known sooner how much physical space, mental peace, and social connection I was sacrificing for a perceived sense of security or sentimentality. I wish I had understood that the decision to declutter, once delayed, doesn't just become harder. It becomes a profound burden, one that eventually falls on weary shoulders. Don't make the same mistake. Ask yourself, is your stuff truly worth the peace, safety, and independence that a clear, functional home offers? Because once you let the clutter take hold, reclaiming your life becomes a fight you'll wish you'd started years ago. I've shared 6 hard truths today, and I know they might feel heavy, perhaps even daunting. But here's the most important truth I wish someone had told me years ago. It's almost never too late to begin. Even after decades of accumulation, even when the thought of decluttering feels utterly overwhelming, the path to freedom is still there. We often believe we need to tackle everything at once, but that's simply not true. Start small. Begin with a single drawer, clear one small shelf, or focus on just one corner of a room. Take a deep breath and commit to sorting through just a handful of items. That small, initial victory can spark a profound shift, reclaiming not just a bit of physical space, but a significant piece of your peace of mind. Your home can, and should, still be a sanctuary, a place of comfort, safety, and joy. It all begins with that one courageous step, because the truth is, a clear home fosters a clearer, safer, more independent life. It gives you back control, peace, and the freedom to truly live. Don't let your possessions become the silent trap that holds you back from the life you deserve. If these insights have resonated with you, I urge you to take that first small step today. Share one thing you learned, or one decluttering tip you have in the comments below. Your experiences are invaluable to this community. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear these truths. Your support helps us continue to empower and inspire others.